How does that even happen? Jeez. I hope that guy's okay. What's going on, guys? It's Dr. Phil with another video. This one's different. Shout out to Chuck Boris. Now when I think about it, Chuck Boris, you try to take Chuck Norris, and people like you guys should be the real presidents. So Chuck Boris said that he wanted to talk about a topic in regards to the lack of empathy between friends, family, and loved ones. Time for a little bit of an English lesson. Empathy essentially means you sorry, gingivitis. You are putting yourself in the position of a person and seeing how you would handle that given situation. Sympathy is being sympathetic towards somebody. You feel for them, you have care, you have mercy, you have compassion, you really want to help them, right? There's a lack of both in society. Forgive me for the camera tilt action. I'm driving pretty much what it looks like as a post-earthquake road. Jesus Christ. What's the difference? And why is it? I told you the difference. Come on, guys, keep up here. What's the reason why it's lacking in society? Now let's talk about why you have it in the first place. You know what? I'm just gonna come back to you guys when I get a proper road to drive on. The water at its finest, doing what water does, being water. Alright, there's the Hubber Tower, iconic. You'll find that on the Snapchat filters, you know what it is, filter hashtag. Snapchat, SnapTube, Insta Twitter. And then you got the whole Corniche over here. It's awesome. So I'm out here at the Corniche, or the Corniche, as one would like to say in French. It's early in the day, so there's nobody really here. On Fridays and Saturdays it can get really packed, and it's beautiful because all the families like to come out and enjoy the scenes. The weather is like amazing, and no matter how hot it gets here in the Middle East, and it does get extremely hot, it'll be like a few degrees cooler. Jungle Gym, there's a few of these spread out, and I'll tell you, like in the city that I'm in, this Corniche spans across the whole coast, so it'll stretch from here to all the way down to there, and all those places there, if you can see that. Yeah, I'm sure you can. So just miles and kilometers of just goodness. Water, stray cats, falcons, pterodactyls, gargoyles. I think they have some kind of festival coming up over here, so they're working on that. And there's some more construction action over there, and it's just beautiful. There's restaurants all over on the side, the coastal area here. It's a great place to play soccer, to work out in the morning. It's just, imagine this to be Miami Beach of the Middle East, and not to mention Starbucks and all that goodness, you know. Make sure you get your caffeine in the morning.
Fall in love, say no to drugs. None of the above. I just sprinkle dust in my cup. Yeah. Now I'm rolling. Pulled out, I'm pulling up. Yeah. Now I'm rolling. Baby sipping on my cup. Whoa. Now she rolling. Now we rockin', rolling up. Yeah. Rockin', rolling.
You always have to honk ahead of time, just in case something happens. So, the reason why I feel like we're lacking this in society is because we're really self-obsessed and self-absorbed. It's like they get their driving training from like a grocery store. Like, The reason why I feel like we're lacking empathy and sympathy towards people is because we're really self-obsessed and self-driven. It's fine, like, you should be driven, you should be goal-oriented, but people are lost in that cycle. They're lost in that train of thought that they just don't come back from it. We're always thinking about ourselves, and it really is because of the advent of social media. It really is because now everyone's life is online and you see what they're doing. And like I said before, humans are comparative creatures. We're very comparative. There's always hierarchies. The reason why I feel like we have a lack of empathy and sympathy is because we're always concerned about our well-being. Not only do I feel like it's social media and the fact that we're so obsessed with our well-being, do we lack empathy and sympathy? But I feel like a heavy majority of it is that we're desensitized to unfortunate situations. We're desensitized to unfortunate situations. Say that 10 times. We see so many scenarios of people's misfortune, people going through tough times, people going through anguish. A lot of that being it in a 30-second video on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, it's like, oh, I've seen everything. And when you see your loved ones go through it, you see somebody else go through it, it's like, oh, well, I've seen worse than that. And you're just, again, the combination of you being so concerned about your well-being and you being desensitized to bad situations and unfortunate situations, this makes you feel altogether in this state of, well, who cares? I've seen worse. You know? Tough luck. It's just that attitude. To the extent that I've seen people in situations more drastic than just empathy and sympathy. You've seen, there's have been news articles and scenarios where kids, the younger generation, and I pray for the younger generation, because they're so heavily dependent on these things, on social media. They grew up, this is their life, the internet is their life, where they were videotaping a person drowning and they were mocking him. They knew this guy was drowning, and in the video, as I recall, they're saying, why is he trying to swim, or why did he go for a swim when he didn't know how to? It makes you realize that the psyche of humans is different now. They look at life through a screen. They look at life through a phone, and they don't realize that they're filtering out real human emotion, real human need. Just because you're videotaping, just because there's things like WorldStar, there's things like YouTube, doesn't mean that there is a duty incumbent on you as a human to help one another. What is you doing, you know? And the desensitization of the human towards unfortunate events is causing that. And I'm talking about even memes. I'm talking about memes that make light of situations. Funny videos that make light of situations, that make you feel like, if you know, somebody getting hurt, somebody being robbed, somebody being injured, losing a loved one. These things, there's memes on these. There's like funny videos to make a mockery of these things. So when the human sees that these things are socially acceptable, that society's accepting them, that it's just another thing to laugh at, when they come across that situation, it's embedded in their mind to an extent. And that's why I feel the lack of sympathy and empathy is increasing, because of those two things. And there's so much more. There's so many other reasons, but definitely chime in and let me know. And more topics like these we definitely should discuss and build a community together. And we should also start a petition for potholes, because potholes are disgusting, and it looks like I'm at African Lion Safari. Look at this. Check this out. Like, just give me a few minutes here. Let me go through this road that seemingly has been built by a volcano. So let's build a community together, guys. Let's voice our concerns. Let's talk about things, and let's make it easy for one another. Let's bring substance back to the internet world.